предлагаю все-таки снова обратиться к европейскому опыту, да, и хотела бы пригласить к слову Дорина.
Me having this presentation is so that we see what experience we have and we choose something for our project. But now perhaps I will go a little bit further and see what we do in England in terms of virtual learning environment and how we use this in real life. And my knowledge is that Moodle is very versatile. Moodle can do everything that this program that I'm using now does. So I think it's not a very difficult task. Yeah, it's fine now. All right, and I will tell you a couple of things. You have to tell me if someone you think is very boring. Just raise your hand and say, Doreen, move on. I don't want to bore you, you know. This is something that I do with my students. So I'm just logging in now to our website. It's Buckinghamshire University. Sorry. And I hope we can have for Succeed a similar website. So it takes us, so this is our university website, you can see. More about cookies, I don't want to see more about cookings. So this is what I get, so I hope it works. Can we just make it a little bit? As you can see, everything is on this. I have this here, as you can see, it's my box Blackboard. The platform that we are using is called Blackboard. Blackboard, it's a company, I think it's an American company with subsidiaries in UK, and we buy this platform from them. So we buy this, we pay I think something like £60,000 a year for this, and then we have 2 members of staff who are supporting us in using this platform. It's very versatile, it does everything under the sun. It doesn't cook for you, but otherwise it does everything almost. The point is this, it does much more than we members of staff want to use and have time to use. So it's like here, and we are just using a fraction of it because we don't have time. So as I'm speaking, I will let you know about something about the English educational system so that you understand why we do how we do. And I have to mention that I'm a lecturer as well, so I'll show you my lectures and how I do. So you have a real life feeling of what's happening. So this is my Blackboard. I go into this and then please read this message. I don't want to read this message. I agree anyway. All right. So that's my username. And then my password, which I will not mention to you right now, if I can remember it. Right. And then log in, and then this takes me to Blackboard, where you can see, well, on the left hand side here is modules where I'm teaching. I'm a teacher there, so we can see how that looks. On this side, it's my organizations. This is meant to be organizations within the university that I have to attend, you know. I have to read all of these things, or if I'm interested, very few of them I read. For instance, it's about business system, communications, counseling service. So if I'm upset, I can go to a counselor, you know, and see what's wrong with me, that sort of things. Employability resources, enterprise innovation, it's everything. Finance. If I want to travel and I need to fill in a form, I can find it here. Everything is here. We don't have people to meet. We don't meet. It's everything, it's here, everything. If I come back from a trip, I go here, I fill in a form, send it to them, and that would be it. So everything happens through this. Look, it's so many organizations here that you don't want to be. I mean, I haven't seen most of these things. Academic studies, skills. So this is organization that I'm a part of, and I can learn things using this, but I'm not, because I'm too busy. So these are my modules, what I'm teaching now. So I'll show you one of my modules. I'm going to show you one that I have marks, so you can see student marks here. For instance, they have just submitted these. So this is for a module, which we call a course. I think the name is a course, or we call these modules. Yeah, we call these modules. So this is, I created this. You see this nice sort of drawing that I did. So my students, when they open this, they can see this nice drawing here. And I have this module information. If I click on that, it's a web page basically. Is progress meeting, Doreen's groups. So it's information about our module. Let's see what else can I find here. Module scheme. This is a document that is here, and students at the very beginning of the semester, they see everything that's planned for them for the whole year. So if I open this module scheme, I hope it opens, but I cannot. Could you please allow this to open, because allow, yeah, and then. So this is the module scheme, yeah. It's a team of us teaching this module, but I created the platform for this. So learning outcomes, where students need to learn by the end of the module, and then assessment, how do we assess them? It's a submission for industry, submission date. So at the very beginning of the semester, we have to tell them what is the date of the submission, and you can see here assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3, they're all here. And then the lectures, each lecture content, lecture theater, where is taking place, who is teaching this. As you can see, everything, week 1, week 2, week 4, week 5, all year. Students can see this, and then they can see what assignments are due, and a reference list, a bibliography for them to read. So core text that we want them to read for this module, as you can see here. Yeah, so that's the module scheme. Then we have assignment briefs. I don't know if this is interesting for you. Assignment briefs is at the very beginning of the academic year. We have to give to students all the projects that they have to do. So at the very beginning of the academic year. So I'll show you how one of these look like, an assignment brief for a research proposal. I hope this is going to be the left one. Yeah. So this is how it looks, an assignment brief. So the student gets this at the very beginning of the academic year, and it says here what is the weighting of this assignment and how to submit this. The assignment must be submitted electronically by 2 p.m. on the submission date. So this is, I think, something that is really, really important to mention, that the system, as you can see, I'm in Ukraine, and this is live now happening. I can mark a student work. So imagine that our students, 10,000 students in our university, submit their assignments that we can mark online. So imagine how upset they will be if they have to submit at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the deadline, and the system doesn't work. That never happened in our university, because the students then they will complain like mad, because they pay £7,500 a year. This is how much they pay to us, so the systems must work so that we keep them happy. Because in our university, I must tell you this, sorry, I'm saying, the students in our university are very powerful. They have a very strong union. And if they don't like something, they go straight to the rector, they don't, and they complain like mad and say, look, we pay you, you must make sure these things work. So this is the relationship we have with the students. So we provide them with all the information they need to submit for their assignment. Instruction to students, the assignment task is here, what they have to do. And so this is an assignment brief, an example of assignment brief, yeah? Alright, so the student knows that on that date at 2 o'clock they have to submit electronically their assignments, which we mark. So I'll show you now what I see. Is this very boring? On a scale from 1 till 10. -2, alright. So I'll show you this, how I can see what students have submitted. If I go to course tools, look at how many things this does. Have I used all of these? Not many, because it's too complex for me. But what I do is turn it in your UK assignments. What happens? A student produces a digital format, a piece of work. They submit to this platform, submit, and we use a software called Turnitin, which is we check for plagiarism. And I'll show you how that looks like, because we don't like them to copy and paste, because we know that as well. So now I can see, look, Turnitin, these are the assignments where my students can submit their research reports. I click on this as a tutor. I hope it's still here. This has been marked. And I can see, can you see, oh, my names. This is, please keep quiet, because you want, this is really, I'm breaking the law now, showing you this, in practice. You can see here students' names. This is similarity index. It's 0%, 1%, 1%, 1%, which is green. See, you can see green here. But you can go, I think, a little bit further, and I'll show you one of my students, I think this was mine, where we have a similarity index of 42%. Which, now I see, when I see yellow, I go and see, look, let's see what he did here. And I click on his assignment and see, sorry, this is this guy's assignment. So now it shows me in color where this comes from. So I can see, for instance, this sentence here comes from this web page, submitted to background. I go scroll down here, and I see that this, see the code there, that comes from this web page number 1, the Sporting Journal, which is, you can see, it's very similar. So now, as a lecturer, I see, oh, bloody hell, what did they copy-pasted here? You know, it's really tricky for me to mark something like this, because it's up to me. You can see every single piece of work where it's the source of this. So now, see, this is quite massive. Number 3 comes from Psychology Rochester Education. This is an American website. So you can see that a student has copied and pasted quite a lot of these things. And now I'm in big trouble. What do? Do I fail the student? Do I mark the assignment? Because our regulations say that if you don't like it in terms of plagiarism, you don't mark the assignment, you just leave it, and then there is a quality assurance panel. They will look into this and hang the student.
But another aspect, he read 14 sources to prepare this paper.
Yeah, but the thing is that he should read and write using his own words, not copy and paste. See, that's the trouble. Anyway, to cut it short, you can see here where he brought his material from. So I look at this, and because I said, look, let's mark it. Let's be lenient with the student. That was originality. Now, grade mark. Let's see what I mark this. I can write so many things here. For instance, let me show you. For instance, I read something here and I see, oh, there is a confusion here. I just type this in and the student can read this, you know. So this is
you have a database of this.
It's already database, but you can customize, you can create your own, because in all the assignments there are common mistakes, you know. So that, for instance, but this is what I created myself, for instance, is general comments and suggestions. I'll show you, because this is, I'll bin this. I put it at the end of the assignment. I want to see this. It must be somewhere here, I think. Yes, see, general comments, and this is the grades I give them to students, you know. So the students see, for compliance with instruction, he got 1.9 points out of 5. So everything could be seen here. And this is what students can see. So basically what we do, if the deadline for an assignment is, let's say, 1st of June, all students have to submit by 1st of June, and after that we have 3 weeks to mark and moderate, because what happens in England, I mean in England it's a madness. I moderate this, then there is a colleague of mine who marks this again, and we look at this together and we agree on a grade, and then an external moderator, which is an external examiner from another UK university, has access to this, and he can look at my comments, he can look at this thing, and I think and we have then a meeting in June, when if he doesn't like the fact that I mark this, assignment, he will come to me and say, look, this is 40% sort of plagiarism. Why did you mark this? So I have to discuss with him and defend my position, why I mark this. So
And
you
how
can.
many students? How many assignments? How many students?
Well, I
How many
only
of
had
them?
19 for this module here, 19 students.
You are lucky.
That happens only when you mark it. If you did for you grade it's nobody, no other teacher will stay.
No, if I'm not marking it, no.
No, and and for moderation, you might so the student can present a paper and then can review it. You allow him or
No.
not.
The thing is this, the student, the deadline is 2 o'clock on 1st of June. So the student can submit on 20th of May this piece of work, and he can see how much plagiarism is there, and if he doesn't like it, he must change it and submit it again. So he's allowed to submit as many drafts until the deadline.
Okay.
But this was lazy, you know, he said, all right, I'll just submit it and hopefully Dorian will pass me. And as you can see here, I gave him, I think, 40%. 40% is just a pass, you know, so it's I don't know, I'm afraid a little bit about external examiner coming here and say, why did you pass him? That's tricky here, see, with these guys. But we had people with 83% as well, a good assignment as well, so I'm not showing you, this is boring for you. But you can see, we
No,
have...
it's very interesting.
Alright, so this is what we do here, and these are my comments and all sorts of things. Use of English, be more concise, I said to them. Because I speak English better than they do. It's supposed to be confidential, remember.
Sorry, could I please ask a question?
Yes, please.
On the page you showed us, there were different colors of. Could you please go again? Of course, I guess, or you didn't mention. Oh, I didn't get what different color.
Yeah,
colors.
I'll go back to that one. Let's go to this one. This is only 17%. It's for instance number 2, and it's velvet here. It comes from this website, so I can see on the right hand side the source of this. This is why colored, this is why numbered, so that I can see where it comes from. And if I click on this, it shows me more. It's showing me the original text. So it's showing me the original text that the student used to do this, you know. But do I have time for this? I don't have time. It's possible to do, but it's too time consuming, so sometimes I do, because for instance I have some master students, and for the master students I work much harder with them.
This system is part of Blackboard.
Yes, this is, everything is Blackboard now.
Nothing has been made in your university.
No. We just bought this Blackboard, and it does everything, as you say. I can show you a couple of features here, what it does. If I go to one of my other, what did I want to show you other things? Yes, I'll go into one of these one because I think I know this better. This is a master master program that I'm doing, so it's me, as you can see, a caricature here for the student. When they open the web page, they see this, which I like, because they know that it's me here. So then I go to content here, and program administration. I'll show you my teaching, because I teach this, research methods and dissertation. This is what I teach. So you can see my assignments here, module scheme, what they have to do, and the workshops, and referencing, we use Harvard system. And the workshops, for instance, I'll show you my last workshops. I hope I have some material here for them. Case studies, no, I'll go to the previous one. For instance, this one here, these students come 5 times a year to us. The rest is distance learning. And for instance, I have, what else do I have here? For instance, I gave them an exercise to do, and it's an Excel file that they have to use and do some work. Shall I press on this? Yeah?
Yeah. It's downloads.
Oh, downloads. So students have the same perspective as I have, but they have different. It doesn't, or it does. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't download this. It should be an Excel document.
Microsoft
It's 96% of this system. It's checked yesterday.
No, I don't know. It doesn't download this. I'll open another file. That this is PowerPoint, I think. My open, yeah, PowerPoint. So the students, this is the sort of lectures I do with a problem at the end for them to solve. And we do some correlations here using Pearson, Spearman sort of things, and I give them a task for home to do. And then they have to submit to me an Excel file so that I can see that they use Excel, you know. So this is how it works. Ethical forms, I'm not going to bore you with this. And I go back again to this so that you can see how many things we can do within this. For instance, I can send an email to all of my students here. If I, oh, it's coming now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We have to turn this off because you don't want to see this. We can solve a problem now. I'll close this down. I wanted to show you what actually we can do using Blackboard. See, it's a control panel here. So, announcement, I can write an announcement to the student. We can do blogs, we can do collaboration, I can set up groups so they can work together. Journals, they can find information on this module here. Evaluation, grade center, the students can log in and they see their grades. We don't send them anything. So everything is relying on this system to work. They come here and they see their grades, their comments, and if they don't like or something, they can write me an email and we can discuss that. Users and groups, I can assign users here. I have the right to assign users here. For instance, if I want to put another one here, I can enroll a student so that they can use this. I can ban a student, for instance, if they don't pay, because now we have a big problem. They have to pay us, and they don't have money.
Not to pay you, to pay the university.
They pay the university, not me. Yes, that is, sorry, I didn't mean that. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. So they have to pay because they don't have money. Sometimes we block them. They don't have access to this. So imagine a student who wants to submit their assignment and they cannot log in because they haven't paid their fees. And then they rob a bank and then pay us, and then they have access to this. So this is how the system works. It's very versatile. I mean, if you look at this, it does so many things. I don't know how to use all of this because it does so many things. I don't have time. As a lecturer, I'm just using the minimum things that are fine, and I have to teach that myself. We have 2 colleagues in our university, in the whole university, 2 colleagues. If I don't know how to do something here, I ring Tona. I said, Tona, I'm trying to do this, it doesn't work. And then she says, oh, press that button, go in there, and it will work. And then this is how we solve the technical problems into this. And in terms of training, I think we have here somewhere, e-payments is not for me, it's for the student. Somewhere here it must be that I can learn how to use this software. It must be somewhere here, I don't know where it is because I never use it. I sort of guess how it works, I'll try until it works, and normally it works. E&I, disability design. So you can see this is what it does. I can access all of my documents from here. For instance, I have my own folders in university. I can access everything from here. Using a password, I can see all of my files. What else it does? I mean, it goes to really learning development. For students, if they want to find books in the library, they can go through here. Departmental training, business system training, e-learning. It's so much that I'm not looking into. It's too much, far too much. So this is how it goes. Alright, so now coming back to what I was telling you what this does.
У нас опыт Тернопольского национального технического университета.
Dear colleagues, I'm going to inform you about my experience of using e-learning platform e-tutor in educational process at Ternopil National Technical University. It's a Canadian program which was developed in 2001 and adopted at our university in 2004. From that time, more than 1,200 educational courses was developed by 445 tutors. From that time till now, system fixed more than 13,000 users. With the help of this program, instructor may manage learning course system and may manage learning system. As for me, I have filled already 2 courses. I have filled already 2 courses in Ukrainian and 2 courses in English. You may see the name of these courses. This process has not finished yet because the possibility of program is very broad, and I have to teach myself, as you said already, every time to improve my courses. The process of creation and filling courses is not difficult, but it takes time. In e-tutor for instructor accessible a number of tools. I want to demonstrate this possibility online. It's my start page, and for example, on the example of course management, we have several tabs we can use. I will tell several words about each of them, and the main tab is Manage. Here we have 22 tools, and we can, first of all, we can create and editing content with the help of this tool. Content, create course with the help of this tool, and content can be created can be created, arranged, imported, exported, and glossary terms defined. Also, we have many other tools, for example, course email. Using the course email option, you can send email to all students in your current course. We have course, you may see course email. We have file manager here. A tutor has a file system used for storing course content resource files. The file manager allows instructor to include files associated with course content into content pages. The file manager also allows you to create, edit, move, and delete files. Also, we have option forums here. Forum is an area that allows course members to communicate in a structured manner through messages. And for communication and messages, we have network system. And here you may see a glossary, for example. In course of management, the glossary lists all course terms, their definition, and related terms. Next tool is tests and surveys. Test and surveys here. These tests, my course consists of 2 tests, 2 modules. They are available, one module is available now for students, they may take a test. There are a variety of options for defining tests, like setting the release data and using randomized question or group-specific test. There are a variety of test types, for example, multiple choice questions, true or false question, open question, matching graphic, and simple questions, so a variety of questions. Also, we have a tool, next tool, we have file storage. Here we may create folder and upload files there, which are made available for download by our course members. File storage, I'm upload there for students. I can find, but doesn't matter. I'm upload there 2 books for students. Also, we have at this system Dropbox, and we may check, you may see this tab, we may check students' work for plagiarism, if necessary, diploma project, or we may check term paper for plagiarism. We have another tool, oh, thank you. We have another tool, groups. With the help of this tool, we may create a group and sorry, I must tell you. This system was developed by it's Canadian program, but it was adapted at our university. And so groups, we can create group, and we may here we may create group. It's my group now, and I may give them all rights they need. So they may create glossaries, they may use some material or may not. And also we have another tool, journal here. There are two types of journal. It's a current journal where I have all my students and I may see results of their tests, and also students may control their degree, their score through this system. And also I have a final journal which may count results of test, practical classes, individual work, and total score automatically. Next tool is backups. Backups here. It's a backup of my course. And also for students is available several tools. This system is very simple for students to use. I want to demonstrate a student's tool. Students' tools. First of all, a student must be enrolled in course with the help of 3 steps. The first step is registration. Next, the student must browse course and then make a request for enrollment. To be registered to course, student must fill several fields and browse course he want, whatever he want. For example, it's my course management, and make request for enrollment. And that's all. When I prove enrollment, student may work with course. It's a student's job with course management. It's tools for student. Student may use a side menu which was created by instructor, and in my case, student may read general information, for example, about curriculum of my course. Student may use information about calendar plan for semester. Student may read academic score distribution and read references and internet resources, recommended references. Also, students have all necessary theoretical educational material. For example, topic number 1, and all materials must have unified structure. It must be topic, study questions, key terms, material, then summary and questions for self-examination. It's lectures. Next, student may use glossary. Then student have practical educational material for each as for each topic. Next, students have task for self-training and methodical recommendation how to complete this task for self-training. It's tests and surveys for students. It's an example of tests. It's an example of what this test look like. After each test, student may see his results on this test, and also student have exam question. Also, I want tell you to control the quality of courses. We have necessary documentation with requirements to the course. We may see this documentation. It's on the. It's here. Here, yes. Yes, here we have official documents which describe the structure of our courses, which describe, gives many other information. And we may control all statistics as for our university courses, because we have page statistic. Maybe lately I demonstrate you because I want to give an answer for your question about students' question. We have questionnaire where student may assess each course. I want to demonstrate you this questionnaire. It's my course theory of organization. You may see that we may use English, Ukrainian and Russian, 3 languages. Here, statistic. And it was developed 20 questions for student, and student may assess a course and a teacher as for 20 points. For example, each of these points, do you understand, is this material was enough understandable? Do you satisfied of quality of educational course? Did you satisfied of lecture material, of practical classes, and many other questions? Here you may see results of assessment. Here you can see a statistic as for each courses at our university, and at 6 o'clock a.m. this statistic renewed. We have to choose a necessary department. For example, my department is management in manufacturing sphere. I can see here my courses and statistic as for my courses. For example, how many students I have, how many notions in glossary I have, how many test questions I have in my course, about quality of my tests, my degree as for students assessment also, and another points. You may see how many column is here. several columns. If you have any question,
Наш технопарк создан в 1992 году как учебно-научно-производственный центр при механико-технологическом факультете университета. Создан центр был инициативными учеными, которые хотели внедрять свои разработки, и со временем они начали помогать другим ученым это делать. Этот был период сложный для стран постсоветского пространства, и наука в то время была в таком пограничном состоянии, куда дальше двигаться, как развиваться. Я думаю, исторически не стоит экскурс делать, все в курсе. И предприимчивые люди начинали сами как-то выживать. И вот благодаря этим людям появился наш центр, который со временем развился в научно-технологический парк университета. Он исторически претерпевал тоже различные нюансы. У нас в законодательстве нашей республики в какой-то момент возник такой нюанс, что университеты не могли при себе иметь юридических лиц, и нас забрало под свое крыло Министерство образования Республики Беларусь, стало нашим учредителем. Потом многочисленными усилиями, в том числе нашего технопарка, были внесены изменения в законодательство, и мы вернулись под крыло университета, стали университетским предприятием снова. И вот в 2003 году мы впервые получили статус научно-технологического парка. В соответствии с нашим законодательством этот статус присваивается Государственным комитетом по науке и технологиям. И в 2008 году, тоже в связи с изменением законодательства, стали субъектом инновационной инфраструктуры номер 1 в Республике Беларусь. Ключевые функции, которые выполняет технопарк в университете. Это трансфер технологий и поддержка инновационного предпринимательства. В рамках первой функции мы самостоятельно, силами сотрудников технопарка, с привлечением ученых университета проводим научно-исследовательские опытно-конструкторские работы. И как следующая стадия, вот в рамках научно-исследовательской деятельности мы проводим различные R&D. И как следствие, в рамках технопарка с привлечением мощностей университета мы внедряем эти разработки, занимаемся научно-производственной уже деятельностью, выпуском наукоемкой продукции, как в рамках университетских разработок, так и разработанных внутри самого технопарка. Вторая ключевая функция – это поддержка инновационного предпринимательства. В нашем технопарке созданы информационно-маркетинговые центры, которые осуществляют всестороннюю поддержку инновационного предпринимательства. Это различные услуги инновационного характера, начиная от консультационных услуг до предоставления различного оборудования для научных исследований. И вторая функция – это бизнес-инкубационная функция. Мы содействуем созданию предприятий и новых производств на уже существующих предприятиях. Вот в данный момент структура нашего технопарка состоит из 38 подразделений и 4 направления. Первое – это ключевое научно-производственные участки. Это направления, которые создаются в технопарке и доводятся до стадии учреждения. Но пока они еще не готовы самостоятельно выйти на рынок, они инкубируются в технопарке. Второе направление, и сразу здесь можно назвать у нас 9 предприятий, созданных резидентов технопарка. 7 из них это дочерние предприятия. Данная форма – это дочерние унитарные предприятия, то есть стопроцентный капитал технопарка. Почему мы так пошли, потому что эти предприятия создавались в период 90-х годов, и чтобы они выжили, данная форма была наиболее удобной. И последние предприятия, которые уже создаются, они создаются в форме обществ с ограниченной ответственностью. И там частично капитал технопарка, частично капитал разработчиков и, возможно, привлечение еще капитала инвесторов. И для того, чтобы вся эта система могла функционировать и функционировать успешно, созданы информационно-маркетинговые центры, которые содействуют коммерциализации разработок университета. Ядром данной деятельности, данных центров является Межвузовский центр маркетинга научно-исследовательских разработок. Inter-University Marketing Center for R&D. Данный центр создан по инициативе Министерства образования в 1999 году. Он является ядром инновационной инфраструктуры Министерства образования, и создана сеть из центров трансфера технологий и региональных маркетинговых центров в университетах, подведомственных Министерству образования Республики Беларусь. Региональные маркетинговые центры созданы при классических университетах, а центры трансфера технологий, они уже более отраслевые, они работают, функционируют при отраслевых университетах. Для развития этой деятельности мы активно используем IT-технологии и развиваем наш интернет-портал. И вот 3 сайта, которые поддерживают деятельность наших Межвузовского центра маркетинга. Это главный сайт ICMBY. На этом сайте идет поддержка инновационной активности, там размещается различная методическая информация, информация о всей сети, новостная информация и база данных неокр университетов. Следующий сайт – это imu.metalit.by, это информационно-маркетинговый узел. Это интернет-площадка для продвижения товаров и услуг разработчиков. Это платформа, это виртуальная кооперационная биржа, на которой размещаются как запросы потребителей, так и разработки, максимально готовые к коммерциализации. И работает модератор, который направляет и помогает данным контактам. И третий сайт – это Беларусь Project BY, это совместный проект с Академией наук Республики Беларусь. Это уже интегрированная площадка, где размещаются как разработки университетов, так и разработки Академии наук. Кроме того, на данной площадке размещается база данных малых инновационных предприятий, то есть эта площадка более такая расширенная, но тем не менее у нее нет преимуществ интернет-платформы, нашей кооперационной биржи виртуальной. Вот среди зарегистрированных пользователей нашей площадки примерно 20% покупателей технологий и 16% продавцов, представители зарубежных государств, которые также участвуют в размещении своих предложений. Мы также в нашем технопарке очень стараемся развивать информационную интернет-платформу технопарка. И вот на данном слайде вы видите перечисленные все сайты всех отделов, как научно-производственных, так и маркетинговых, на которых размещается информация, необходимая для взаимодействия ученых и потребителей. Важным элементом продвижения технологий является кооперационные биржи. Силами нашего центра уже проведено более 9 контактно-кооперационных бирж. Преимущественно мы, естественно, представляем интересы нашего университета, и 60% технологий – это представляемых на данных биржах, это разработки БНТУ. И небольшие успехи представленных технологий и запросов. Кроме того, для продвижения технологии у нас работает выставочный отдел. У нас наработана уже мобильная экспозиция Министерства образования, где представлены все ведущие разработки вузов республики, и которая ежегодно представляется на более чем 150 выставок, как международных, так и республиканских. И в данной экспозиции порядка 260 экспонатов. Кроме того, вот, наверное, ключевое, работает у нас в технопарке Центр поддержки предпринимательства. Присвоен данный статус Министерством экономики нам в 2004 году. И данный центр оказывает различные услуги, которые направлены на развитие и поддержку инновационного предпринимательства. Это и помощь в организации, информационное обслуживание. Стараемся организовывать и проводить курсы различные по каким-то основам предпринимательской деятельности. Проводим маркетинговые исследования и другая деятельность, которая в целом направлена на то, чтобы разработчики, инициаторы проектов максимально им помочь начать свой бизнес, продвигать свой бизнес. Небольшая техническая накладка. Здесь представлены основные финансовые показатели, чтобы никто не понял вверх тормашками, как мы успешны. Ну, в целом, технопарк работает успешно. Он развивает как свою деятельность, свои научно-производственные направления, так и вузов республики, инновационных предприятий, которые так или иначе относятся к Министерству образования. И здесь вот небольшие финансовые показатели указаны, мы уже не будем акцентировать внимание. То, чем мы гордимся, это наш кадровый потенциал. У нас достаточно молодой возраст, средний возраст 38 лет наших специалистов. У нас работают 2 доктора, 17 кандидатов наук. Мы привлекаем сотрудников университета, то есть это тоже огромный потенциал. И мы являемся площадкой для привлечения молодых специалистов. То есть как я сама, так и многие наши сотрудники нашего технопарка – это бывшие студенты университета. Мы приходим в технопарк еще будучи студентами, работаем, совмещая работу и учебу в технопарке, и на выходе технопарк получает готового специалиста уже к работе. Его не надо обучать, ему не надо рассказывать, что мы представляем, он сразу заточен на ту работу, которая планировалась для него, чем он занимался. То есть такая политика по привлечению молодых специалистов очень зарекомендовала себя в нашем технопарке и тоже является способом поддержки инновационного предпринимательства, потому что в нашей стране в студенческой среде очень развито занятие научной деятельностью. Но инновационное предпринимательство, инновационная культура предпринимательства среди студенчества, она не развита на том уровне, как, например, в Европе. И, соответственно, перевести этих ребят, которые занимаются наукой, и притянуть их в инновационный бизнес бывает достаточно сложно. И такая схема, она помогает это реализовать, поскольку студент, он привлекается сначала к науке, а потом вместе с научным руководителем в технопарке он реализует, он внедряет свою разработку. И в дальнейшем, если у него получается все хорошо, ему проще организовывать свой бизнес. Кроме того, наш технопарк активно участвует в научно-технических программах Республики Беларусь. Здесь представлены некоторые из них. Это технологии химико-термического упрочнения изделий машиностроения, это легкая промышленность, это медицинские разработки. Это у нас достаточно конкурентоспособная на мировом рынке. Можно, в принципе, сказать, что она уникальная, разработана ультразвуковая установка для разрушения тромбов, которая сейчас уже вышла на рынок республики, и сейчас мы пытаемся выйти на европейский рынок, то есть проходим все стадии разрешения, лицензирования и апробирования в Европе. Вот. Кроме того, установка полирования плоских оптических поверхностей и другие технологии полирования. Мы активно выходим на международные рынки и помогаем это делать нашим предприятиям. При поддержке Министерства образования и Комитета по науке и технологиям у нас создана сеть двусторонних центров, которые содействуют научно-техническому сотрудничеству нашей страны с другими. Вот конкретно у нас созданы центры сотрудничества с Китаем, Венесуэлой, Казахстаном, Латвией, Россией, Сирией, Украиной в том числе. И в ближайшее время создаются центры с Вьетнама и Нигерии. То есть здесь вот европейских стран не так много, но я думаю, политикой обусловлено это, что нас немного не пускают на европейские рынки, и, соответственно, мы ищем другие выходы. Вот пример международного сотрудничества. Года 3-4 назад с Китаем у нас здесь, к сожалению, не написано, я не произведу точно, с какой конкретно китайской компанией, с компанией Гао Юань был произведен обмен специалистами. То есть наши специалисты ездили к ним учиться, их специалисты к нам, потом мы проводили совместные предприятия, далее создался совместный центр, и уже на сегодняшний день, с 2010 года, у нас создано совместное предприятие с Китаем «Дорожно-строительные инновации». Там тоже молодая достаточно команда. Китайцы заинтересовались нашей разработкой, мы заинтересовались их оборудованием. Вот. И компания Гао Юань — это достаточно крупная в Китае компания по производству различной дорожной техники. С Китаем у нас достаточно плотные дружные контакты, и вот в 2010 году также был создан белорусско-китайский технопарк в городе Чанчжу. Его открывал наш президент. То есть это наше непосредственное участие было. У нас в республике существует государственная программа инновационного развития, и технопарк в рамках этой программы реализует 15 проектов. Вот, и 4 из них — это проекты по созданию новых предприятий и производств. Спасибо за внимание. Я постаралась уделить внимание поддержке инновационного развития. Я понимаю, что мы несколько не студентов поддерживаем, а больше в целом всех желающих в университете, кто хочет начать свой инновационный бизнес. То есть у нас достаточно такая разветвленная сеть для этого создана. Для студентов, если конкретно, мы являлись организатором несколько лет республиканского конкурса инновационных проектов. То есть мы организатором на организаторском уровне, а идеологи Министерства образования и Комитет по науке и технологии данного конкурса. И в рамках данного конкурса были 2 номинации: лучший инновационный проект и лучший молодежный инновационный проект. Вот. Тоже это средство поддержки, поскольку в рамках данного проекта мы занимались как раз-таки перетягиванием молодежи из науки, молодежь в инновационный бизнес, поскольку, как я уже сказала, они приносили зачастую научные работы. Не инновационный проект, а главное условие конкурса — это проект, бизнес-план инновационного проекта. И вот ребята приносили научно-исследовательскую работу, разбитую по пунктам бизнес-плана. И в процессе уже работы с ними, консультационной, ребята уже приходили с хорошими бизнес-планами. То есть вот этот аспект. Кроме того, мы организовывали мини-бизнес-школу для студентов. В рамках этой школы мы проводили различные, начитка, небольшая лекция, потом кейс-стадии, и мы пытались там организовать их команды, поскольку наш вуз преимущественно технический, но он имеет также экономические специальности, и вот в этой школе мы пытались соединить инженеров и экономистов для того, чтобы они учились создавать команды, работать в команде для уже выхода на рынок. Ну, в целом, наверное, все, что хотела сказать. Спасибо большое за внимание.
Сейчас об нашем опыте. Мы участвуем в проекте Tempus-SUCSID. Его финансирует Франция, французская сторона. В данном проекте участвуют 9 вузов Молдовы, Министерство образования, Министерство информационных технологий. Ну и помогают нам в этом европейские коллеги. Вы видите ряд партнеров, с которыми мы сотрудничаем. Значит, в рамках данного проекта была создана единая сеть e-learning. Сейчас я ее продемонстрирую. Почему я об этом говорю? Это очень важно. И важно, чтобы мы создали единую сеть, в которой мы увидим все идеи, которые предлагаются Белоруссией, Украиной и всеми другими странами, в том числе и Молдовой. Для этого, по тому опыту, который мы имеем, мы предлагаем, что было бы целесообразно иметь сервер, как вот мы имеем по этому проекту. Мы имеем 3 сервера. Это в техническом университете, в экономической академии А7, которые также участвуют в данном проекте, нынешнем нашем госуниверситете. В нашем университете сервера нет, у нас прокси-сервер. Наши курсы размещаются на сервере экономической академии, которые в данном проекте тоже участвуют. Каким образом мы подключаемся к нашим курсам? Имеется стартовая страница, через которую мы выходим на все 3 сервера. И видим все курсы, которые есть на этих 3 серверах. Это представляется вот таким образом. Вот наш портал. И вот главные страницы 3 серверов. Если мы находимся на данном портале, мы можем с этого портала подключиться к данным серверам. Нужно сказать, что этот весь опыт нам передала Франция, который мы получили. Это позволило обучить специалистов IT-специалистов разработке курсов и размещению на платформе Moodle. Ну, что такое платформа Moodle? Я думаю, что останавливаться на этом не стоит. Но данная платформа имеет очень большие возможности. Это как Лего. И каждый в свой курс может добавить те ресурсы, которые он считает необходимым. Вообще имеется более 400 ресурсов, которые мы можем добавить в Moodle и которые интегрируются в Moodle. Это hot potatoes, который мы используем. Amahara для создания электронных портфолио. Google Applications — это различные Google приложения, да, и ряд других. В результате мы имеем курс, который может включать в себя различные элементы курса. Лично наш университет разрабатывает задания в hot potatoes в программе G-Click. Open Meeting — это внедряется в Moodle. Мы создаем в Moodle глоссарий, тесты. Ресурсы, лекции в виде файлов PDF, презентации мы во флеше, значит, конвертируем формат в программе eSpring Free. Ну, сейчас мы попробуем подключиться к одному из курсов. Нужно сказать, что в Молдове экономическая академия имеет больше опыт. Так как мы в этом проекте только второй год, я покажу только то, что мы успели сделать, но у нас очень большой потенциал. И к окончанию нашего совместного проекта, я думаю, что все цели и задачи будут реализованы. Сейчас мы подключимся к одному из серверов. Но мы попали на сервер экономической академии. Здесь все курсы, которые хранятся на данном сервере, в том числе курсы Камрадского госуниверситета. Планируется в ближайшее время у нас тоже сделать отдельный сервер, чтобы после окончания данного проекта мы могли у себя работать. Ну, покажу вам один из моих курсов по базам данных. Вы видите, что здесь представлен куррикулум, имеется учебно-методическое пособие, тема курсовых работ, пример курсовой работы выложен. И начинается, каждая тема сопровождается лекцией, презентацией и заданием для индивидуальной работы. Если я кликну по заданию, то я увижу, что 4 студента мне ответили на данное задание. Отправляют они в вордовском формате, и сразу я могу поставить оценку. Если говорить про другие виды работ, то можно также отвечать на вопросы. Есть самостоятельные работы. Сейчас я покажу вам тесты. Здесь есть банк вопросов. И мы видим, что у меня тесты разработаны по 3 темам. И еще под предварительному тестированию. Задания разных типов. Можно их посмотреть. Вот таким образом. Очень важно, что есть возможность посмотреть все оценки студентов. Которые я вот показываю, они создавались с прошлой осени по сегодняшний день. Нужно сказать, что потрачено на них огромное время, и это немалая работа. Это все на энтузиазме самого преподавателя. То, как будет выглядеть курс и что он будет включать, это все лежит на ответственности преподавателя. Но сейчас вот я покажу вам результаты предварительного тестирования. Они, возможно, не такие хорошие, как может показаться, но вы видите реальных студентов, у которых 7, 6, 5. Это даже очень много, честно сказать. Почему такие оценки? Потому что компьютерные сети изучаются в школе, и они приходят с определенной базой уже. Можно посмотреть статистику по отдельному студенту. Для этого нужно пойти на оценки посмотреть, как студент выполнил тот или иной тест. Вот мы видим, что данный вопрос он ответил верно, на данный вопрос частично или совсем не ответил. Вот вы видите правильные ответы и на какие вопросы студент ответил неверно. Также, обычно я открываю доступ к данной информации после того, как все студенты прошли тестирование. Какое у нас предложение? Я думаю, что в Dropbox будет выложена вся презентация. Поскольку мы ограничены во времени, я показала основные возможности, а все дополнительное вы посмотрите и почитаете, в презентации имеется.
Я хотела бы пригласить к слову, к трибуне Bayview Innovation.
If I have to talk about our own experience with e-learning, it won't take me long. We have no experience in e-learning. Yeah, so thank you for your attention. But I will try to kind of highlight a few points that I would like all of you to take into consideration while our discussions. So, very important thing. We have heard a lot of great stories, have seen a lot of interesting products, but most of them kind of specializes on e-learning for universities. But what we are going to create it isn't an university, it's a startup center. It's not an obligatory one. It's 100% optional for students. And it will require to have a totally different workflow for it. So, because in terms of supporting new startups or new companies, we'll have a few steps, like incubation of ideas, helping them to kind of bring this idea to some kind of structure, creating a team, and then support them in their work. And after that, we'll have to kind of help them to connect with, let's say, general markets, with other events, other organizations, investors, experts. And this is a little bit different from what we usually, not we, but most of you usually do with students in terms of getting some kind of information in them and then passing through exams. And this could require quite a different approach. And I would say more, in terms of learning, e-learning, we have quite a huge drop rate. For most e-learning courses, which like free and not obligatory one, like 20% of finishing the course is really a success. Most of them is below 10%. And if we provide some kind of content, like with no obligation for students to finish it, we could face this kind of figures. And what I have, actually Coursera is even lower at this point. But what I have tried to do is kind of analyze what's the main reasons why they drop and what can we do to make our work more productive. One of the main reason usually I heard from my friends, colleagues, and I have found this in a few research, so it takes too much time. Because to listen to 1 hour lecture usually takes 3 hours of real time. Because you have a lot of distractions, you are on the internet, so you have Facebook, Skype, other stuff, and if you're at home, your parents could ask you to do something. So, and actually the same thing we can hear from all business guys complaining about business literature. They say, hey, we do not need these big books, we need essence, only main idea, we have some kind of problem, please give a short advice and very clear one how to solve it. But publishers kind of have another interest. Bigger books are more expensive. So it's kind of a struggle. The print becomes bigger and bigger. So what can we do? I would propose that in terms of creating the content, let's look at TEDx. 20 minutes format. Maybe we could 30 minutes, but not an hour and each part should be kind of completed one. So it's quite easy to find in 20 minutes. Student can watch it in on his way to university or work or whatever, or just at home. It won't take a lot of time, and he will receive some piece of information and will have an opportunity to like think through it. And what's especially important, if they have like a certain need or problem, they can watch like a certain video to solve it and then to solve it. Another problem is kind of some students complain that program has really high requirements, and I think you would agree that our target audience is like from freshmen to postgraduates. So we will have to create some kind of content that will be understandable for like both levels. It's my kind of favorite example. It's kind of, let's talk about math. So let's imagine that you have one rabbit and someone give you another one. So one rabbit plus second one, it's 2. So this is math. And now let's make a practical exercise. And practical exercise on the left side, I think. So, and actually most like IT books or guides, kind of, they usually write their books and tutorials this way. So we'll have to be kind of consistent and to be very accurate, because what I have faced in like my lectures to students, because freshmen and let's say second year students usually do not aware about like startups, business, they know really not a lot of stuff. So maybe we'll have to add like some basics for them. On the other hand, we can't be like too simple. So I would say that on a like high end of our course, we'll have to maybe to invite some experts from the market in a certain fields for them to create these like 20-40 minutes blocks to cover like some special need, for example, like SEO optimization or maybe marketing, or maybe some kind of negotiation basics. Yep. Another thing is, if we create boring lectures, it doesn't matter if it's boring like in the audience or it's boring online. So we need to engage in like more interactive stuff, and especially if we're talking about entrepreneurship. Because if some of you have taken these e-courses on entrepreneurship, they usually do involve kind of group work, teamwork, some kind of exercise that will require peer-to-peer communications. And we need to implement this in this course. Another thing, if we are targeting students, like they're not living in the box, and this isn't obligatory for them. They have an opportunity to go to Coursera, Udacity, any other resource, and watch this cool stuff about entrepreneurship. So I think maybe we'll have to test our system really heavily on like user experience. Maybe it will be reasonable to find a few like good designers who will help us to like make everything shiny. I think it's possible to find them to work for free. But we need to understand that this is a website of our hotel. So if this whole program will look like this, they won't use it. And this is a site of some kind of Kiev hostel. So it costs almost no money because it's on some standard web page. But still it looks much better. So we should think on like design user experience in terms of implementing all our like strategy. It won't necessarily cost us any money, or maybe it will cost really a lot. Another thing about video lectures. If we want people to watch them, this should be a pleasant experience for them. So we need, for video lectures, we need someone who like can talk and can be interesting and engaging with the audience. Because this guy is one of the most like favorite YouTube channels. He's just talking about science, like some basic stuff, but his videos has like a lot of millions of viewers. So why? Because he's interesting to listen to. So this is kind of people we need to for this video lectures if we are going to make them. Another really important thing is like yesterday I have said that in Ukraine we have really low like fail tolerance, and if we start to communicate students online discussing their ideas, we'll have a lot of trolls, a lot of guys who won't propose anything but would be really like negative. And I think that to prevent this kind of attitude, we need to have some offline points in these startup centers. We can say that we're willing to engage not only like in Sumy, Ternopil, Minsk, but like all over the Ukraine, Belarus, so on and so forth. So we're kind of trying to encourage entrepreneurship thinking. So let's like create moderators. Let's ask them to find a place when they can gather as a group. So it isn't really difficult, but in this entrepreneurship, in this high-tech startup business, networking is a key, really, because you can't go anywhere without networking. And this is one of the skills we actually, it would be great to help them to develop. And let's go back. What's even more important, if we have this kind of groups of students who kind of gather some on periodical basis, we'll have a point when we can invite someone from the market. It's kind of crystallization point, because we had this problem like in Kiev, not with students, but like with startup entrepreneurs. Because when some expert or investor comes to Kiev, comes to Ukraine, well, he is willing to spend a few hours and to talk to entrepreneurs. Well, but where should he go? And if we have this kind of clubs or points, meetings, once we can say, hey, we have this group, this is like 100 students, they're all like motivated, they're looking forward to create their own business, go talk to them. Usually this works really fine. Another thing is we will have really different applicants. Some of them could be with some kind of rocket science, heavy R&D. I have seen this kind of students. So they will need like one kind of program. Some other guys will be just willing to make some kind of business, some funny stuff. So we'll need to kind of adapt this. So all these like steps, like ideas incubation, creation of a team, some kind of basics, seminars, some basic content, meetings with real market should be really flexible. Like we can't go like a railway. So we need to have a flexibility to address these applicants to the sections they will gain like the most. And unfortunately, I have failed to like seal the deal with one of our companies. But basically, they have created their system. They used to be, they still do, consulting as business trainers. And they work with it's B2B business. They do not work with just general students or educationals. Only with business. They have created a methodology for creating really highly interactive and engaging seminars. It's much cheaper like the standard business training, but it's still really efficient. Now they're considering that they're ready to give this system for free for any university. So we can use this methodology if I hope I will be able to finish this like kind of small negotiation like in a couple of weeks. And then I will mail all of you like all the details. But maybe we'll be able to use their methodology to create these interactive seminars during this kind of meetings. Because this system will allow to have like one trainer, one moderator at each point, and we'll be able to create like a lot of activities, discussions, and interaction in these groups. So maybe this will be, we will need this maybe in a couple of years, after we have like first tests for our program. So actually that's all what I wanted to say. Well, questions are still welcome if you have one.
Основная проблема, с которой мы столкнулись при организации стартап-центра, это определение формы его существования. Существует, по крайней мере, две модели. Одна модель коммерческая, То есть, когда стартап-центр имеет коммерческую форму. Другая модель некоммерческая. Некоммерческая модель тем интересна, что она позволяет существование стартап-центра на базе университета. Because if we select commercial form of startup center activities, we cannot assign startup center and university. То есть мы не можем связать университет и стартап-центр. Почему? Потому что университет не может иметь в составе подразделения, которое имеет коммерческую деятельность. Поэтому модель предлагаемая, миссия, цель, она определена некоммерческой формой существования стартап-центра. В основе миссии, как мы уже и закладывали это в проект, лежит поддержка и развитие креативности и бизнес-активности молодежи. Цель работы стартап-центра в первую очередь это создание среды для бизнес-активности студентов и слушателей. Именно, подчеркиваю, создание среды. В качестве партнеров или участников в работе стартап-центра мы выделили следующие категории. Ключевым для нас являются студенты. По сути, они являются для нас действительно самыми важными партнерами. Затем это университеты-партнеры, стартап-центры и инкубаторы, предприниматели, как физические лица и практики, которых мы можем приглашать для активностей. Компании и ассоциации предпринимателей и местные органы власти, которые заинтересованы в развитии стартап-движения. Еще раз хочу подчеркнуть, задачи, которые сейчас мы увидим, они объясняют исключительно некоммерческую форму существования стартап-центра. Первоначально, когда разрабатывалась модель, весь полный список заданий был, скажем так, декомпозирован на задачи, которые можно выполнять на коммерческой основе, и те задачи, которые могут выполняться на некоммерческой основе. Полный список задач достаточно большой, здесь выделяются основные. При организации бизнес-модели мы все задачи разбили на два больших блока. Это основная деятельность, main business process, и вспомогательные, separate. И вспомогательные. Ключевой задачей в любом случае является организация процесса обучения. Организация процесса обучения. А также обеспечение подготовки учебных материалов. Еще раз подчеркиваю, стартап-центр – это оболочка, которая имеет некоммерческую форму своего существования. Но потока материалов, чтение дисциплин может быть на коммерческой основе. Например, в виде тех или иных учебных программ, которые которые читаются в рамках любого университета для подготовки, например, послевузовского образования. Организация процесса обучения предполагает наличие второй задачи. Это подбор тренеров, консультантов и разработчиков учебно-методических материалов. Третья задача – это предоставление площадей и ресурсов. Как вы уже поняли, предоставление площадей и ресурсов – это одна из важнейших задач, которая будет выполняться в стартап-центре. По сути, это и есть то, что привлекает наших студентов. Площадь для коворкинга, ресурсы информационные, программные, технические, для обеспечения их деятельности, первоначальной бизнес-деятельности. Следующая задача – это организация персональных консультаций. Организация персональных консультаций, которые могут быть как дистанционные, так и очные. Организация коммуникационной площадки. Поскольку мы рассматриваем работу стартап-центра не как локальную деятельность, а в первую очередь как, опять же, площадку для продвижения стартап-проектов, студентов и слушателей, то для нас важным является обеспечение работы вот этой коммуникационной площадки. Следующая задача – создание информационного наполнения контентом самого сайта, то есть или портала стартап-центра. То есть отдельная задача, возможно, некоторые ее могут выделить как вспомогательную задачу, но эта задача должна быть поставлена в рамках стартап-центров. Следующая задача – проведение первоначальной оценки и ревизии бизнес-идей студентов и слушателей. Основная проблема, которая сейчас возникает при некоммерческой форме существования стартап-центра, это сделать так, чтобы большинство из перечисленных задач могло быть обеспечено в рамках выполнения процедуры или процесса обучения студентов. То есть оценка, информационная поддержка проекта, консультации бизнес-планов или консультации студентов. На самом деле это все то, что преподаватели могут предусмотреть и организовать в рамках своего учебного процесса. То есть выделять это как некие отдельные коммерческие услуги, возможно, даже и не нужно. Организация и проведение крэш-тестов. Опять же, в учебном процессе это проведение оценки дипломной работы или любой работы на, скажем так, для оценки определенного ее уровня. То, что обязательно должно быть в рамках стартап-центра, это организация мероприятий по обмену практическим опытом между практиками, студентами, предпринимателями. Создание и поддержка информационной инфраструктуры. То есть это непосредственно обеспечение работоспособности сети, технических и программных средств. Администрирование самого портала. Продвижение идей предпринимательства в молодежной среде. То есть это встречи со студентами. Это оказание помощи в поиске бизнес-партнеров для пользователей и слушателей стартап-центра. Создание и поддержка международной сети для взаимодействия между стартап-центрами, бизнес-инкубаторами и академическими партнерами. Оказание помощи в разработке бизнес-планов и презентации бизнес-идей студентов. Это опять же можно выполнить в рамках учебного процесса. Обеспечение информационной поддержки стартап-проектов на международном и региональном уровне. Проведение медиа и промо-акций для поддержки работы самих стартап-центров. И создание банка данных стартап-проектов по результатам работы участников работы стартап-центров. Перечень задач, который был приведен, можно спроецировать на результаты индикаторы. Справа вы видите индикаторы, а слева результат по каждой задаче, приведенной выше. Например, подготовка инфраструктуры для совместной работы студентов предполагает следующий индикатор. Это наличие специализированного помещения для тренинга и коворкинга, чтобы помещение было доступно не менее 4 часов в день, чтобы были приобретены соответствующие технические и программные средства для студентов, в данном случае по нашему проекту не менее 10 рабочих мест. Для результата наличие команды тренеров, то есть те, которые будут участвовать в обучении, должны быть следующие индикаторы. Это тренеры должны быть сертифицированы, и тренеры обязаны иметь опыт преподавания по соответствующим курсам. Результат. Подготовленные печатные электронные материалы по 5 курсам, которые, собственно, являются и результатом всего проекта SUCSID, предполагает, что у нас должен быть как минимум учебник по каждому курсу и структурированные электронные материалы, например, в виде презентаций. Опять же, по курсам, доступными для пользователей как проекта SUCSID, так и, собственно, слушателей регионального стартап-центра. Результат. Организованный и проведенный цикл обучения для студентов и слушателей. Индикатор. Обучено не менее 20 студентов. В проекте была заложена цифра 20, но я думаю, что она может быть, наверное, пересмотрена в каждом региональном центре, в каждом университете. Следующий результат. Разработан и функционирует веб-сайт, портал. Портал, соответственно, нам нужен для того, чтобы организовать единую точку входа в все возможные ресурсы стартап-центра. Вопрос остается, насколько ресурсы должны быть открыты для пользователей, то есть поставлен знак вопроса, и насколько доступен будет доступ к результатам вебинаров или, допустим, онлайн-семинаров. То есть этот вопрос, я думаю, что надо будет как бы коллегиально решить. Оценивание бизнес-идей студентов и слушателей. Предполагает, что будут проведены совместные мероприятия по оцениванию бизнес-идей. Они могут быть проведены как в рамках, опять же, процесса обучения студентов, так и в результате обсуждения самих студентов своих бизнес-идей на коворкинге. Предполагается, что это мероприятие должно проходить не реже одного раза в квартал. На самом деле оно не регламентировано, но в силу того, что нам нужны какие-то индикаторы, предлагается вот такая периодичность. Проведение краш-тестов или проведенные краш-тесты, опять же, должны быть привязаны к тем мероприятиям, которые у нас отражены в нашем проекте, то есть завершение обучения студентов предполагает создание ими комплекта как документов, так, собственно, формализации их бизнес-идеи, которую необходимо валидировать с помощью этих краш-тестов. Следовательно, не реже одного раза в год такое мероприятие надо заложить в деятельность стартап-центра. Один из ключевых результатов является создание стартап-команд. То есть стартап-команда, то есть это команда единомышленников, это один из важнейших результатов работы стартап-центра. То есть при наличии 20 студентов, которые заинтересованы в прохождении обучения, вполне возможно сформировать не менее 3-5 команд, которые будут участвовать в разработке бизнес-проектов. Проведение совместно с партнерами мероприятий по развитию студенческой предпринимательской активности предполагалось, что эта активность будет не реже, чем 1 раз в месяц. То есть, если мы посмотрим наполняемость программы работы самого стартап-центра, то мы увидим, что примерно с такой периодичностью имеет смысл закладывать встречи с бизнес-партнерами, чтобы стимулировать студентов, чтобы поддерживать их тонус для дальнейшей работы. Оказание консультаций студентам по вопросам разработки стартап-проектов, ну, опять же, по мере необходимости, ну, опять же, не реже 1 раза в месяц. Промо-акции тоже рекомендуется делать не реже 1 раза в месяц. Предполагается, что на веб-сайте или портале стартап-центра будут помещены материалы о активностях стартап-центра, рекламные ролики и тому подобное. Теперь хотел более подробно остановиться на организационной структуре самого стартап-центра. Представители украинских университетов, как бы знают и сами с этим столкнулись, что в рамках университета создать подразделение, которое будет называться стартап-центром, очень проблематично и требует создания штатной единицы, то есть это на самом деле действительно сложно. Поскольку мы рассматриваем наш стартап-центр как некий тоже стартап-проект, пока некоммерческий, что, конечно, странно, но тем не менее так, предлагается сначала разработать виртуальную организационную структуру, в которой деятельность стартап-центра будет только обеспечивать учебный процесс для подготовки наших студентов. Разумеется, существует следующий вопрос. Какая степень заинтересованности студентов, какая степень заинтересованности представителей стартап-центра в подобной деятельности? Если мы организуем стартап-центр как некоммерческий, то, разумеется, в первую очередь мы можем говорить о интересах студентов. После завершения проекта Tempus-SUCSID финансирование по сути прекращается. Если поддержка стартап-центра в течение 3 лет была сделана за счет денег Tempus-офиса и выделить средства на поддержку было возможно, то после завершения возникает вопрос, за счет чего будет существовать этот стартап-центр. Существует на самом деле не так много источников средств, которые позволяют существование подобного некоммерческой формы организации стартап-центра. В первую очередь это, разумеется, учебные программы, так называемая послевузовская подготовка. То есть мы привлекаем студентов на платной основе с минимальной стоимостью этой программы, но описываем те преимущества, которые получает студент, обучаясь в нашей программе. А именно, мы подготовили учебный материал, мы подготовили специалистов, мы подготовили помещение для коворкинга, мы предоставляем ему бесплатно ресурсы для обучения, работы и разработки своих бизнес-проектов, мы предоставляем ему уже налаженную коммуникационную среду и сеть поддержки стартап-проектов. То есть, по сути, мы предлагаем учебный комплекс, а также некий, скажем так, бизнес-инструмент продвижения их проектов. То есть интерес студентов в том, что они получают уже полностью готовый комплекс, обучаются и, по сути, старт для их проекта как по площади, так и по бизнес-коммуникациям. Для обоснования интереса представителей стартап-центра, по сути, это опять же может быть финансовый вопрос. Вы подготовили студентов, вернее, скажем так, вы подготовили почву для того, чтобы привлечь студентов. И те деньги, которые вы получаете на обучение, по сути, вы можете направить на поддержание вашего стартап-центра. Это первый источник. Второй источник, разумеется, это спонсорская помощь. Спонсорская помощь предполагает, опять же, наличие интересов спонсоров в стартап-движении. Выделение, то есть фильтрация студентов таким образом, чтобы спонсоры, участвующие в работе стартап-центра, могли напрямую работать с максимально активными студентами, которые имеют бизнес-идеи и которые готовы работать. Третий источник финансирования. По сути, это возможность работы с представителями региональной власти. Виктора Николаевича сегодня нет, но, по крайней мере, он, если вам интересно, мог бы развить идею по поводу того, чтобы организовать взаимодействие между стартап-центрами и центрами занятости, которые в настоящий момент работают неэффективно. Почему? Потому что они, выделяя денежные средства, студентам, которые закончили университет, не гарантируют, что эти средства потрачены не зря. Предполагается организация такого взаимодействия, когда деньги, которые должны выделяться студентам после окончания вуза, идут не на поддержание так называемых их штанов, а на то, чтобы они могли найти деньги, начать свой бизнес или обеспечить первоначальный этап обучения, например, в нашем стартап-центре и с последующей организацией своего бизнеса. Технически это возможно. То есть это возможно сделать так, чтобы сумма, допустим, в течение 3 лет, которая выделяется в центре занятости, пошла на организацию бизнеса, а также на открытие новых рабочих мест, которые будут опять же финансироваться за счет центра регионального, за счет центра занятости. Но, как показывает практика, опыт, большую часть денег все равно вы будете получать, скорее всего, исключительно через открытие так называемых платных программ. И поэтому, когда продумываете набор задач, которые будут в стартап-центре, необходимо учесть, что вся активность, которая была приведена в виде перечня задач, в большей степени может быть организована в виде сквозных бизнес-задач проектов, которые выполняются в рамках обучения. То есть все задачи, связанные с оценкой, с консультацией, разработкой бизнес-планов, это все можно организовать как результат обучения И деньги получают преподаватели в процессе выполнения и решения этих заданий. Более подробно работа или задачи стартап-центра рассмотрены в виде модели бизнес-процессов. Не знаю, насколько, конечно, сейчас видно на проекторе, но эти задачи расписаны с точки зрения того, что поступает на вход бизнес-процесса, что является выходом, то есть аутпутом бизнес-процесса, что является механизмом, то есть за счет чего выполняется этот бизнес-процесс, и чем регламентирован бизнес-процесс. То есть описание бизнес-процесса предполагает описание входов, выходов, механизма и управления. Декомпозиция каждого процесса позволяет более детально рассмотреть, какие результаты, какие задачи, как они между собой взаимосвязаны, какие требуются информационные потоки для выполнения этих задач. Я думаю, что, может быть, нет смысла останавливаться более подробно на каждом блоке по одной простой причине. Вы можете их в распечатанном или в более удобном виде получить и проанализировать. Основные концептуальные моменты я уже как бы рассказал. Детали можно рассмотреть по каждому блоку. Ну, и это может быть даже вопрос дискуссионный и вопрос, который будет обсуждаться на уровне каждого стартап-центра или каждого университета. Ну и еще раз, конечно, благодарю всех присутствующих за активную работу, за то, что очень много материалов, мыслей, идей было сгенерировано и предложено в рамках выполнения нашего проекта. Еще раз большое спасибо.
All right, so can I just start with saying that what I'm going to present now, I'm a partner in this project exactly like you are, and I was trying to make sure that the project progresses according to the plan, because this is, in spite of some difficulties, we want to move on. And the plan that I'm going to show now, and you have, I think, a sort of a map of the project. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what is into this plan here. I hope I'm going to be able to open it here so that we have a look on the table. This is the project map. It can be seen on the screen here. It's slightly different because if I put the mouse here, we can see what is the plan about. So far, we are according to the plan. In spite of difficulties regarding coordination, we have met, we have learned from partners while visiting each other, while talking. And now the crucial moment is starting, we have to start producing outputs, because the project, we promised that we are going to produce a report to Brussels. This is a formal sort of requirement, and the critical moment has arrived now. If you can look at this map that I highlighted the outputs. The OP means that they're outputs with deadlines. I strongly suggest that we keep the deadlines as they're here, because it's feasible. I think it's still feasible here. So basically, if we see in May, the first output is going to be Work Package 7, and it's a sustainability plan. This is Comrade University will have to produce a sustainability plan, and this month you will produce the aim, and the plan is for you to produce a draft of the sustainability plan. We'll circulate this, we'll put it into the Dropbox. The Dropbox structure will change a little bit so that we can find it easily. And then we discuss the sustainability plan, and then we approve it and say, this is our approved sustainability plan. Then if we look into June, we start with another output. Montpellier 2 has to produce an analysis of existing experience in EU partners and partners countries. So this is again a report which is going to be produced by Montpellier 2, taking into account the visits we had, all the experience, so that there is a document, a report that will inform us when making the decision regarding the content of the Startup Center. Exactly in June is going to be another output due. Work Package 5 should write a report on the quality assurance plan. So again, it's a draft that you would like to produce, please. Circulate, we look at that, if we want, we add something to it, and then that's our quality assurance plan. Again, in Work Package 6, there is a dissemination plan that Moldova Academy of Economic Sciences will have to produce. A draft, we keep in touch with them. We circulate the draft, we approve the draft, and then that's our dissemination plan. So it's quite busy. June seemed to be a very, very busy month for us. I will not go for the time being further, because I want to make a comment here. Staff costs. We haven't touched this area of cost, but now we have to talk about financing as well, because all these outputs, some people are responsible for this, but we all contribute perhaps into this output. So, partners responsible could please ask colleagues, partner to contribute to this. And then when we write in our timesheets what we did, we can say contribution to developing the dissemination plan, contribution to... So, the timesheets should be related to these work packages. That's really important. Ideally, in an ideal situation, the project manager will send an email to everyone saying, this is the output, this is the deadline, this is the work required, this is the numbers of days for each partner, how many days you can claim against each of these outputs, so that it's very clear for everyone how many days are being given. So this is very technical in terms of project management thing now.
And who will do it?
Who will do it?
Such a simple question.
Yes, that's a very simple question. So,
Who will do it?
well, normally who? The stupid people, Jean, which is me.
No.
So for the time being, I created this, yeah. I will try to create a structure and get in touch with each people who are responsible for producing these. And I'll keep an eye on them. In the meantime, hopefully God will bring us someone who can take full responsibility of this and will move the whole project to flow. But what I'm trying to say that we are working. The European Commission can see a very clear plan. This is going to be available on the Dropbox. So the European Commission, they don't have to come here. We can send them, look, this is our Dropbox. You can see the project plan. You can see the deadlines. We are going to have work packages there. If they want to see what happened in each of the work package, they can click on work package 1 in the Dropbox, and they will see that there is a report there, or there is a draft for a report, it is not ready yet. That, for instance, yeah, exactly. So for the traveling example, we had 3 mixed meetings so far. If they want to see, they go into meetings, they go and see Montpellier meetings, they will see presentations, they will see minutes of what happens there. Same for this meeting. So we have to be transparent. Brussels like us to be transparent. And now I'm talking from their perspective, yeah? They want to see what's happening, and they don't just want to see what's happening when they come to see it. Ideally would be that when they come here in June, I think, they will know everything what happened, because the Dropbox is telling them exactly what we have done. And this is good because it doesn't show like we do preparation for them to see what is to be done. No, we work and they can see how we work. This is the normal thing to do, and I think should be our approach. I've used that in my project. I mean, in my previous project, not with this many partners, someone from the European Commission had access to my intranet, if I can put it, where they could see every single timesheet, every single document was there. So when they came, we had a nice chat, we went to a restaurant, talk about girls, and then they went home happy, and this is how things should happen, I think. Not preparing for them. They are here to help. Normally they should come here and say, how can we help? That's the first approach they should do. Not, what have you done? How can we help? This is their approach.
They say they are not the police.
Exactly. No, they're nice people. If I can tell you once, my first project when I got, can I do this? I mean, you don't mind. A story about this, when I had my first project and the guys from Brussels say, we are going to have 2 people coming to watch you in a meeting like this. And I got worried. I said, oh my gosh, people from Brussels. We expect people with suitcases, like this, coming to see you, And then I went to wait for them at the railway station, and then the most beautiful girls I've ever seen, a Czech and a French girl, came and said, we are from the European Commission. Look at that, all right, fine, good. Do you want a tour of the town? I said, yes, but the others are waiting. Oh, they can wait. Let's have you've never been to this town before. So we had a meeting in the town, travel nice. And then the first thing when they came in the meeting like this, they say, what can we do for you? And then we started loving them. Said, oh, European Commission, we love you. That sort of approach. And this is how it went. And then they say, any problems you have, that sort of things. And then they went home in 2 days' time, happy. Everything was fine. Anyway, so I hope it's going to be like this when they come here. We have to prepare that. This is my idea, to make this preparation so that we genuinely do the work. This is the message that I'm sending. So now, I don't think I'm just going to do we feel the need to have an outlook of the whole project? Because most of you, or some of you, might not have this outlook. What is the project about? We start working on a project, but we don't really understand what is the project about, what we have to achieve. And I think do you mind if I do that a little bit? I'll try to be not very boring and fast. If you look at work package 1 here, on this column, this is ending up with the output core, create 4 regional startup centers. So this work package 1, where the work packages are created, this is in November this year, and there is a portal available. Then this work package is finished. So this is the end. In November we will have these 4 regional centers and the portal that will support this. This is the aim to do it. Then if you look at work package 2 and work package 3, these are slightly different. They're connected to another objective of this project. So on one hand, we have created these regional centers, and now work package 2 and 3, it's about something else, which is innovative development, presentation and partnership, something like this, IDPP. So that's another story there. I'm not going to go into that now. I'm going to go back into work package 4 because this is relevant to the startup centers, which is important. After we have created the startup centers, the people who are going to be in charge of the startup centers will travel to nice places, sunny places, Portugal, England, Sweden, all this sort of, to see how to approach the student, how to talk to the student or whoever comes with a business idea. Yeah. Then they will learn how to do this, and this is led by our colleagues in Portugal. Yeah. Going back now to work package 2 and 3, this is about innovative courses for the engineers. And computer science. Yeah. So here we first develop the teaching methodologies, so what is to be taught, and then how to deliver that. I'll try to make it short here so that you don't... And there is support, this is supported again by a portal, a website, and teaching materials. We have to produce teaching materials for this as well. So we have two objectives, major objectives here, that are somehow interconnected.
But what is wiki second K.2, yeah?
That's Comrade University.
Yeah.
They're leading that. They're leading that. Of course now, because if there is a partner with less expertise, because we know that when you put an application, there are certain criteria that you have to meet, you know, to let less known partners to have a major role. We will support them, of course. We will not just let them do it, and if they say, because I spoke to Svetlana and she said, we don't really know what to do here. We are going to support her, provide examples, so she will take a leading role, but under our sort of support. We are all into this. Now, if I move on to work...
Wiki 7 only KDU, it's...
Again, KD, yeah, it's a key partner here. Comrade University, they have Work Package 7 again, which is sustainability. They are leading that again, but with our support. When they say that they're leading, it means that they will be writing the reports and the outputs they will be responsible to provide, because they will have lots of days, staff days, to produce this. We cannot discuss now why and how this has been allocated. This is the plan. Then we go to Work Package 5. Which is quite simple. A project evaluation plan means that everything we do here should be having some sort of evaluation, quality control. It's common to all projects. So we will be having some forms that we can fill after the meeting, for instance, if you had a dissemination event, there is a form that we can fill and see what people felt about that and what was the outcome. Work Package 6, which is dissemination, quite important. We have a couple of outputs here. They're at the very end of the project, that's 2015. We don't talk about that now, just now, but a plan, the dissemination plan, will tell us everything we have to do. And each of the partners will have to have a dissemination plan. For instance, we will be asking, tell me how many events, when you will plan to have dissemination events, and when you have organized dissemination events, we want some evidence. We want some photographs, we want a short report, and we are going to produce the forms to be filled. Not a very long form, but we need evidence, because everything we do, we need to provide evidence of what we have done. This is what's going to go into the interim report, which is going to be presented to the European Commission, that's in April next year. So the work goes like this. Everything we do should be accompanied by a document, and the form of that document, it's in line with the report that we have to write to Brussels. So when April 2014 comes, we don't have to spend nights working on this. All we have to do is collect existing material, because we work timely. And all of these things will be visible on Dropbox. Everyone can see, even the European Commission people, to see what we do here. This is my view on how things should be done. I strongly believe that the manager of this project, the overall manager, coordinator, or the academic coordinator, will follow this plan with our support, and everything will be going according to the plan. This is my view. I think I bored you enough. Do you have a perspective on the project now? So please, I would say that the instrument for us to work is this map and the project handbook. And then you see, oh, what roles do I have to play here? How many days am I allowed, or how many days I'm required to put towards this work package? Because then, please, good practice, every single month, fill in the timesheet so that we keep a record of that. Into my previous project, what I did, because it's big, huge, each month I sent a message to all partners saying that, for instance, next month, if I'm going to refer to June, in June, for work package 1, we have to do this, 2. And then when you put your timesheets, you say, I've done this, this, this. For work package 2, we need to do this, this, this. When you put in the timesheets, you put, I've done this, this, this. So make sure that we are consistent. We cannot say that 3 of us did dissemination, some 4 or 5 people did exploitation, some other 5 people said they've done something else. We have to be very consistent. This is how we should be working. Of course, we need a strong coordination for this. And the role of the manager will be to really make sure that we're all together, we work in pace, we are well coordinated, and this is reflected in the financial documentation. So they go hand in hand. We cannot make them very different. This is how a project should work normally. I'm not going to go into more detail here now. Any questions? I might have forgotten something very important. Please have a look at the map, the project handbook, the budget, and try to make a plan to yourself. What do I have to do this month, every single month? And then we are fine. August is the nicest day, I think, month, because we only have one output. Yes. Oh, so, questions, sorry. Any questions about this plan? Any sort of questions that... Do you want me to expand on some areas? Do you want to...
One of the head of this competition, Iron Entrepreneur, to say us some words about this competition. This year our student took part in this competition, and we involved students from 2 Kharkiv University, also from Municipal Academy and Academy of Building and Architecture. And it was the first etap in Kharkiv National Economical University. After team of our university was on the second etap in Kiev, and also this team took the second place, and a few days ago they received the 8th place in in the final etap of this competition. And it's really a very good experience how to organize this entrepreneur skills for students. And tell us some words, please, about this competition here.
Добрый день, еще раз. Сезон 2012-2013 года железный предприниматель прошел в 9 городах Украины. То есть это 3-й год, когда мы организовываем подобные мероприятия. И в 1-й год состоялась всего 1 игра в Киеве, а во 2-й год 4 игры в различных городах. И вот как раз закончилась игра 3-го года, когда мы провели 9 игр. Плюс полуфинал украинский. Если сказать о масштабах, то всего где-то около около 60 студентов принимали участие в отдельных играх. То есть около 500 студентов всего в чемпионате в Украине и около 100 студентов в полуфинале. Из регионов, из каждого региона мы приглашали на полуфинал по 2 команды. И таким образом на полуфинале 2 команды победители отправились на финал в Москву, в котором принимали участие студенты из российских вузов, из Украины, из Белоруссии и Казахстана. Возможно, какие-то вопросы по игре, ну, что интересно, организация, взаимодействие с вузами, о чем подробнее рассказать?
Цель игры.
Сама игра. Как
Цель
была
игры
задача команды, как они, что они
То есть
делали?
о формате игры. Да. Суть игры. Сначала мы собираем просто студентов, которые хотят принять участие, у которых есть желание принять участие в подобного рода игре. Потом мы формируем команды из этих студентов по принципу, что в каждой команде был как технический специалист, так возможно и экономический, если позволяет специфика университета, на базе которого проводится игра. Поэтому команды выходят разносторонние. И в принципе справляются с заданием, которое мы подготавливаем, поскольку задание готовится на доступном языке. Да? То есть, если задание техническое, глубоко техническое, то мы доступным языком объясняем то, каким образом можно использовать его. Что лежит в основе задания? В основе задания лежит какая-то техническая, какая-то технология, возможно, да? То есть или, возможно, какая-то реальная технология, то есть материальная, или какая-нибудь веб-технология. Задание состоит в следующем. Из этой технологии студентам нужно сгенерировать несколько идей на основе этой технологии, выбрать какую-то ключевую, какую-то ту, в которой они видят перспективу, и, соответственно, подготовить презентацию по этой технологии и видении этого бизнеса, построенной на ней. Соответственно, на это у них всего 1 час времени. 1 час. То есть это очень поверхностный анализ, да, но он все-таки позволяет хорошо побрейнштормить. Вот. После часа работы все студенты презентуются, и мы выбираем 2 команды победителей, которых приглашаем на полуфинал. Победителей выбираем по принципу команды, которые хорошо справятся с любой технологией. Не просто потому, что у них есть хороший технический специалист в данной технологии или там психолог, ну, были такие прецеденты. Вот. Но мы выбираем команды, которые хорошо справятся с любой технологией, потому что на следующих этапах технология меняется, и, соответственно, меняются сами условия работы над проектом. Возможно, еще какие-то вопросы?
Review of the model structure, objectives and tasks of regional startup center, point of view of Portugal University.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to talk here at this university. And I think there is going to be actually 2 presentations, one from myself and the other one from Antonio George, and the one from Antonio is going to be better because it will be oriented to the real issue. Anyway, I tried just to pick up a few ideas on the road of preparing the Lisbon's meeting on how to around one key idea, and I'm sorry if I may not agree with all of you during this afternoon discussion, but I think we cannot teach people to succeed, but we can help people to succeed. We can teach a lot of things they need to actually succeed, but we cannot teach them to succeed. And that's on the basis of that principle. If we are talking about, let's say, startups or young companies, we may need to have some tools that may allow us to help these young companies, to help those startups to succeed on the actual competition, namely within the European Union. And that's the point on the basis of which I tried to set up a few topics that have to be considered when we assess a business idea. So it's part of my job actually, and some very few teaching I was doing at ISG, it's about business development. So there is a tool that I sent you a few weeks ago preparing this meeting with a very simple note about saying that this to be discussed in summit. That is actually a kind of form or a kind of way of treating business ideas in order to discuss it in an open basis before there is some investment on that. And there is another key idea I'd like to emphasize, is that we are really touching up something that is the most important natural resource, that is the willingness of young people to succeed by themselves. And operating those ideas and operating what they need to do to succeed is really a huge job, and if there is some contribution from this project to that matter, it's going to be really a good result. In order to achieve it, we tried to convert the presentation I sent you a few weeks ago to a web closed network, a web closed forum where these business ideas can be discussed among the entrepreneurs from your universities, from our universities too, and with other close clusters that may join this partnership. So we would need to have a tool, and I hope we are starting to have it now. We would need to have a tool in order to make possible that discussion to happen without meetings, to happen all the time, continuously, and also to have it happening throughout several clusters we want to be associated to this project somehow. And there is already an implementation, and I hope this implementation can be tried until the Lisbon's meeting, so it can be tried during a few weeks, and it could be kept under trial for the next months. And it has to be done somehow connected with the current professors in, so I'm sorry about the pronunciation. Can I keep it only professor? Okay. And with her team on web, and and in order to get some contents and to get some use for the blank presentation I sent you. So the presentation is the one I use when there is a new business development thing, and it takes care of several aspects that are really key aspects when we need to assess if a business idea might be one capable of surviving in open competitive environments. And that's really a difference between this aspect and some other ones more state-oriented or more public funding-oriented. There is quite a few tricky aspects about competition, for instance about disruptive innovation, also about the way market may react to this idea and the way it may increase capabilities and get the competition worse in the second stage, and so and so. So all these aspects are covered on the implementation we have done that is going to show up some way, and that's on the website, the one that can be tried. And there is the possibility for you to have a password to go there, and the idea is to be capable of handling inside a closed forum, the business development aspects I put on the presentation before. Doing so, we may feel comfortable with this tool and we may be able to open it to other partners, for instance to other companies in EU, in order to be from the early stage in touch with startups and with developments. The partners already in the project may help their students to produce. So that's the access, and I hope it may be useful, and I would like just to go up to the key idea that I think we really need to develop as a key result for this project. At Antonio's presentation, it will be more practical, and we have quite a few issues to solve concerning the contents for the forums we are preparing to Lisbon. So I will hand it to
Thank you very much, Marcos. Antonio.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if it is appropriate right now to discuss the agenda of, because we have the proposal for the agenda of Lisboa, where some of those things that are interrogations right now, like the funding, you will be able to speak with the president of the European Association of Business Angels and someone from the Ventures Capital. But I don't know if it is right now. It could be? Okay. So I will pick up the presentation. So I just, I can do it here? Okay, perfect. I just remind you the time schedule that we have presented in Tampere, and all I think agreed that we will develop the framework for planning the implementation of the startups, which means that right now we need to discuss or to conclude, if it is okay, that the framework for each startup center to develop itself is okay. I just remember too that we have all of the universities or the groups that will implement the startup centers which are predicted in the project might make an external analysis, an internal analysis, and a stakeholders analysis. This was a slide of Tampere. I think the presentation that we heard before, Marcos, already has lots of those things done. Then, so we discussed it. Then later on, ESG and Iridiare send this, which is the final tuning or the extension of those three main ideas. And I just want to remember you that you and your teams, it could be teachers or teachers with students. For instance, I have been in Ternopil, and in Ternopil I make a presentation with this for students and teachers, because they probably will do the work of that has to be done, which is predicted here, with the students and with the teachers. So this is just to remind you that it's a framework which could be done or could be modified, but are the main ideas. Okay, this is for the stakeholders, which is you have to identify them, to prioritize them, and then to know how to approach them. For instance, funding. If you have a problem like the presentation before about funding, you have to do this. This is on the Dropbox. I will be not so extensive. You already know it for weeks. And then the SWOT analysis, which has to be done. And after that, you have to make the definitions of the startup center you want to be, which services will it provide, which processes will you need to develop, define the governance model, which additional resources will you need, how it will be financed, define your activation and interaction with the stakeholders, and the objectives for the first 3 years. I think, at least I'm very fond of projects which has objectives or goals in order for the people to know where to go. So, after all of this, you have to make a list of decisions and actions and prioritize them in order to activate your startup centers. So this work that I summarized here has to be made by yourselves. Of course, that all of the partners in the project are available for helping. If you need any help from us or from other partners, please ask, because I will pass this quick. Because in the Lisbon meeting, our proposal is to discuss each startup center on the basis of, how can I say, not saying that your startup center is right, mine is good. Yeah. It's not like that, because your startup center is not equal to mine, it's not comparable. So we have to go to the discussion with an open mind, respecting that maybe there are 4 startup centers and all of them are different, providing different services, and so, but I think that they must be presented to the group, each other, in order to catch the good ideas and make some corrections, because then it's up to you. But it's really useful, in our opinion, to discuss each of every project in this basis, in the basis of, okay, why do you do that? Why do you do that? Why don't you think about this? Not trying to standardize the things. No. Please, you have to have my ideas, not yours. No. Respect each other's, I think that will be the best approach for each one, because in the end the startup will be yours and you will be responsible, and if it does not function, it's your responsibility. So I think this is the mindset that we might have for Lisbon, and the proposal for the meetings are those. I cannot see there, I don't know. Perhaps I may have to change glasses. It will start in the 25th with a reception on ESG. Carlos Vieira, which is the CEO, will speak, perhaps me and Marcos too. Then we will reminding this global model, and we will have the presentation of each startup center who will be created. Which presentation? The presentation with the framework that I previously have mentioned. Okay, and Kharkiv has already made a big progress on this. So then, after those presentations, we will have lunch, a discussion about them, and then we will have lunch at ESG, and after then we will go to Cascais. Cascais, it's a place, a very nice place, which has a DNA Cascais. It's an incubator, and there we will have a presentation of the DNA Cascais, and we will meet and have a presentation of Paulo Andrés, which is the European Business Angel Association president. He will explain to you how business angels in Europe look for the good ideas. How do they look for them, and in which of them do they put their money? Because they have plenty of money. If your universities has good ideas, it's not because of money that they will not go on. These men have lots of money. But there are 2 different approaches related to funding. The first one is the business angels. The second one is the venture capital. We will see later. Then on the 26th we will work again on ESG, working in session groups. So if there are some other European partners, because the meeting is only previewed for the partners. But if there are some other people which like to go, it will be very useful in order to moderate this these working sessions. What is the idea? Again, I remember you, I've spoken about this in temporary. Each startup center and this team will stay in a room with someone which will discuss, is it okay, is it not okay, keeping in mind all the presentation that you have seen of the other startup centers. Will you modify anything, won't you, okay? In order to conclude the work package 1.1, okay? Then we have lunch again in ESG. We departed to Tagus Park. It's the hugest startup center or incubator that we have in Portugal. Marcos can speak a little bit more about this, but there we will have a reception, we will have the presentation of Tagus Park, and then we return to Lisbon. That's in a place which called Oeiras, which is between Cascais and Lisbon. Then we return to Lisbon and we go to the Startup Lisbon, there, which was organized by the municipality and some capital ventures. Okay, and so there we will see what a startup is, and it is a different startup because it has public money and private money. It's a combination. We will look for a presentation of them, and which is Paulo Carvalho, and then we have Miguel Barbosa, which is the CEO of Portugal Ventures YAPME, which is a fund mainly from the state, I think. But they'll have money to put on new businesses. So you will listen the way of how a bank or a capital venture will invest in good ideas, because it's different from business angels. Okay? Then we will go to the hotel, and then we have the official dinner on the June 26th. On the 27th, we will go to Beja, which is a city in the middle of Alentejo, a region which has it's not urban, in fact it is rural, and has a cluster. So we will have a reception at Beja International Airport, which was made to develop that area. And then Jorge Polido Valente will will make the opening. He's the mayor of Beja, and then we have a cluster presentation from Marcos Nogueira, which he was involved in this project, so he can explain it very precisely. Then we have lunch. We will visit the international airport, Beja Incubator, and then we will have the departure to Lisbon and the closer session for the next steps. Okay? If you agree with this, this will be the program. If someone has another idea, please tell us. Can I understand by your silence that it's closed?
Perfect.
It's perfect? Do you agree with it? Yes? Okay. Thank you very much. So, if you allow me, it's probably a little bit soon to make some discussions about e-learning and long life learning, but since I've been heard lots of things, I have just a few ideas that I put here because I think it's important. We are here right now. Again, I'm a practical man, so we are here right now, and if you look at the program, you will see that we are discussing working package 2 and working package 3, and which are related to courses and technology, in my opinion. Courses for students. Why? Not for making them succeed, because I agree with Marcos, but for developing creativity, innovation and entrepreneurship. We can help them to have some ideas, but we cannot not helping more than that. But I think that it is predicted on the study that those courses might happen. Okay? Then we have courses for startup center leaders. About what? About management, human resources, management and marketing, okay? Because the startup center leader might need that. So we can discuss if we will put that course on or not, okay? But that course could be the startup center leaders could go to Lyon, could go to Bucks, could go to other universities and learn this, that, and those, and then, okay, they are prepared. But we have to take care of that persons. And then we need courses, and those, I think, they are previewed in the project to be e-learning ones for mentors, tutors, and teachers. How to be a mentor, tutor, which means learning and managing creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. I think what we might discuss, because we were discussing during this morning, how do we learn these things, or what will we put on the courses? I think it is those three things, okay? And the group might find, in my opinion, at the end of this, I will not be here, unfortunately, I have to leave tomorrow, but I think at the end we might have a time schedule for those three areas. Each one might, and probably, I don't know, but probably we'll need space in Lisbon to discuss this. Probably, because if someone have homework to do and to presentation, where do the people learn those things, or how do they learn this? Will we develop those courses? Will we use courses that already exist? Okay. And then, regarding to technology, is the most part of those discussions today. We need to discuss software, and then we need to discuss the hardware needed for it. Okay? But regarding to software, we need software for cooperation. Like Marcos had presented right now, a software just for cooperation, for people to share ideas. We need that. Not only for our students, but also for all of the partners. Okay? Then we need software for startup center management. How to manage creativity and processes. Creativity, it could be mainly in an application like Marcos had presented. And then the long life learning, which is predicted too, for teachers, mentors, and tutors. So, but after we know which software will we use, then we discuss the technology. And so, I think we need to have the specification of each software. Those presentations are very useful for us to know what we want to do, because if we don't know anything, we don't know how to specify. Then we have the specification of each software, and then we have to make a list of all the softwares that you have, because there were lots of softwares which have been presented by the universities, and after a list we will see which one will match with the needs of the group. So that's my contribution to the working package that we are discussing today. Thank you very much, and if there are any questions, I'm available for them.
Thank you, Antonio. Question?
Yes?
Yeah, it's not like a question, but in terms of cooperation
Yes.
and reassuring.
The point. That's maybe why I told that we need a kind of experimental period or a pilot trial using this kind of method. Actually, as you may have seen, the first version was a PowerPoint. So this business development thing is not really something to be done through the web. It may not work. It's a little bit messy. The point is that we are 5,000 kilometers away from home, and we may meet once a year. So, to succeed on this SUCSID project, we do really need to solve something that is missing. That's a tool to perform the business development process together. And as Antonio said, in Lisbon, we hope we are going to meet people that is used to host new companies, or that is used to support new companies. But we need to have a kind of SUCSID adapted tool in order to make possible to do that kind of difficult process before we make entrepreneurs to meet them. So there is a kind of tutorial process we may have to go through with the young companies and with the entrepreneurs in order to check, cross-check and share-check if their ideas are already strong enough in order to get through that competition to be funded and to go to the market. And of course, we need to do it in an open basis, but that's not an open tool, because you cannot discuss openly your business ideas, it wouldn't work. So we have to have something that is somewhere in the middle. So we should be capable of sharing some discussion when it comes to the detail, and you may go through the web platform and you may see that each forum is separated. So if you think about disruptive innovation, it's different than talking about, for instance, the compromise you have to break in order to have your product in a new market segment and so. That's very topic by topic. It's a little bit technical, needs to be to read, but it's not that open in the way that you are not sharing your ideas with everybody, but you are sharing the ideas with the partners you are choosing in order to have it somehow cross-checked. And there is another topic that using this kind of tool, we may be capable of operating this discussion very much on the technical aspects of this business development. So the idea is not at all to have one more forum where you very openly can put just a business idea, because that's a little bit of no added value on that. So you have to go through that procedure and to write the things you may say about the topics that are there. Those things are going to be commented and so. So it's a little bit more technical than just a forum to discuss the ideas, but that's a really important preparatory work in order to have some entrepreneurship ideas that may succeed as a kind of platform, once again using the same word, a kind of platform in order to go to the European Union market or the Eastern European market already somehow stronger than it would be just without this kind of help.
Continuing this topic, I would like to, from my side, to say many thanks to Irina, because she was really very, very helpful during the time of the preparation. And if we go back in our memories to the first meeting when we had really many arguments and everything, many problems are being solved really, and we're really grateful because most of organizational issues were solved perfectly. Of course there are problems, and we have problem with the staff costs we need to discuss, we have problem with equipment which may arise, yes, very soon. We hope that you'll also do your best to find solutions, and we hope about that very, very much. But from my side, I see some very, very big progress compared to the first meeting when we discussed many things, and many of them are really already solved. Thank you very much.
Step by step.
Thank you.